about my neighborhood as I scan through the city. It's not all bad, there's some good. So if you rope through my town, don't be nervous. You can still catch your family into a Sunday service, or hanging out, cooling out, just barbecuing. If you ask me, you better check what you be doing. Cause if you look past the liquor store on every corner, you can find a working man in a van, a homeowner. If I could make this world perfect, I would, but I can't.
You can't prevent violence, because violence is gonna happen anytime. You don't know when is it gonna come. You don't know when you're gonna get stabbed or shot.
Over the last 4 years, the Mission District has experienced violence like we never have before. Over 50 young men have been murdered in this time frame. Stabbings, gunshots, beatings. We must do something in order to curb that number from growing anymore.
My name's Gino Tejas. I'm a trauma surgeon here at San Francisco General Hospital. D'Angelo. You D'Angelo? I'm Dr. Tejas. As a trauma surgeon, I take care of the most severely injured patients who come into the hospital.
Open your eyes, it's bad light.
The young people who are coming in are not coming in because of automobile crashes. They're coming in more and more because of injuries due to violence. And a lot of us are just now becoming disgusted with seeing this. And besides just trying to repair the injuries and try to get these individuals healthy and out of the hospital, we're asking ourselves, what can we do to try to prevent these injuries from ever coming in?
I see them on the streets, and then you're trying to, oh yeah, I remember you.
Why as a community do we keep on killing each other? We don't know whether or not he's going to wake up. But he's got, again, tubes everywhere. He's got actually a tube.
Dr. Tejas not only stays within the walls of the hospital, but comes out to the community.
How you doing?
Great.
If you have doctors that are sewing people up and saying this is all my job is about, is a disservice.
How you doing?
But when you have doctors sewing kids up and then going out into the community themselves, finding out what's going on and getting involved, we may have a chance.
May this be a safe night.
Last year, about 5,000 people were treated right here in San Francisco General Hospital. They were treated for stabbings, gunshot wounds, and other injuries due to violence. Many of the victims were young people. In fact, violence is at an all-time high, especially youth violence. Now, nationally, gunshot wounds are now the leading cause of death for black and white teenage boys, and it's the second leading cause of death among Latino youth. The problem is so serious that the Center for Disease Control in Atlanta has declared violence a public health emergency, calling on the medical profession to work towards preventing it. But can they really prevent violence in the same way that public health campaigns have tried to prevent drinking and driving or smoking? Well, Dr. Gino Tejas believes it is possible. He represents a new breed of activist doctor, committed to going beyond the hospital walls to find solutions to this problem. This is his story, in his own words, as well as those of the residents of the Mission neighborhood.
I think there's one thing that I've always enjoyed is the dynamics of life, something exciting and something that pushes the envelope in me and challenges me. I always wanted to get back into the community and contribute. As it turned out, the trauma surgery actually gave me that avenue, because obviously in trauma surgery, dealing with some of the patients who come in, they're a result of violent injuries within these barrios and within the ghettos. So it gave me that aspect of trying to do something for the community directly. So I think it was the dynamics of all those aspects that led me into trauma surgery. I'm not sure whether or not I chose it. It seems that's something took my hand and kind of led me in that direction. I've always been concerned about violence and injury within these communities, and specifically Latino communities or my own communities and communities of color. In trauma centers and emergency rooms where it used to be 8 out of 10 people being carried on gurneys through these doors were usually due to falls and automobile accidents. Now the transition is that 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 people coming through now, it's due to violence. You pass out at all?
No.
Initially, I saw Jose when he came into the emergency room. I was down there and treated him. Jose had multiple stab wounds, and they punctured his lung. They punctured his diaphragm, and the knife continued into his abdomen and punctured a major organ, the spleen, which can bleed a lot, and under some circumstances can be life-threatening. How you doing? You all right? Yeah. Now, you had told me that you had been involved in a gang before. About how long ago was that?
4 years.
About 4 years ago? And then how long did you stop claiming it?
2 years.
About 2 years. And what's it been like during that time?
Sad, too much troubles.
What's that?
Too much troubles.
Too many troubles? Like what?
Shooting, jump,
Shooting and jumps? My emphasis is trying to do something for the patient even when the patient leaves the hospital. Unfortunately, we know that victims of violence have a tendency to get re-injured with another violent injury, and they come back and see us. So is there something that we can do to try to prevent a re-injury and possible death? Do you think that's a good idea to go out and get revenge?
not like that, you know. But
Well, what do you think is going to happen if you go out and get revenge? What do you think what would happen though? If you left the hospital and you went out and get revenge, what does that mean? What's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen back to you?
go to jail or something, but no, I'm good.
What do you want to do with yourself right now?
You know, I don't know, I'm thinking, like I'm telling you, maybe I want to go back to school, or I want to go back to Mexico, I don't know.
And what do you want?
Change my life.
How do you think you can do that, though?
My family will help me.
The future holds for Jose is what Jose wants to make out of it. Hopefully he has some resources now available to give him a little bit of support, as well as having resources to try to get back to school.
What rap is trying to do for Jose right now is more or less try to get him out of the middle of the heat that's going on the street. Try to give him another option besides the hospital and jail, you know. So what we're trying to do is try to get him into a group home, try to get him involved in a program that'll offer him an alternative to what, you know, he keeps getting thrown back into. Every time he gets thrown into the hospital, he goes right back into the street.
People want to know what works. How do we prevent violence? What can you tell us to do that prevents violence?
We'll be...
Even though if you're not in a gang, you could get shot or stabbed. There's always gonna be other people punking on people, fighting other people. And you don't really have to be in a gang to get hurt. I don't fear for my own life, because if I have to go, I'll go. I don't really see in the future. I'm just worrying about what's gonna happen right now.
Some 3 years ago, a young man by the name of Byron Alvarado was killed senselessly on Valencia Street, 2 blocks away from the police station on a Friday night at 11 o'clock. That was not the first killing that this community experienced, but it was a very dramatic killing because of the age of the child, and also is that he just left the police station 2 blocks away. That particular incident galvanized our community to create the Mission District Community Peace Initiative, which is a coalition of organizations, individuals, some gang members, non-gang members, that want to see peace in our community. Part of our work for the last 27 years has been working with young people that are in trouble and young people that need some guidance. RAP is a youth organization located in the Mission, which has been in existence for the past 27 years, dealing with high-risk young people and their families.
This is no movie. This is real life. This is what I see that comes in. Some little 10 or 11-year-old girl, a little 4-year-old boy on the corner who gets shot.
Dr. Tejas has worked with young people in this agency around youth surveys and other kind of tools to kind of gauge where young people's ideas and thoughts are at regarding violence, as well as getting involved directly with young people and having discussions with them about what he sees and what he would hope not to see.
Sometimes, like, when a lot of adults say, oh, why can't you have your kids inside the house doing their homework, or why can't they be at home before 9 o'clock? Most of the kids that I know, they're at a house where they're getting abused, or their mom's all hooked on crack or something like that. And why? I wouldn't blame them for wanting to go to the street than for being at home, getting beat up all the time or getting molested, doing something. And they have no one to turn to, so most of them just go hang with their friends.
If I put you out on a corner street and said, okay, from right now, I want you to go find me a gun, how long do you think it would take you to go do that?
Give me a ride and I got it right then and there for you.
You have to provide options for these young people, in these neighborhoods, and young people to go out there when they get older and really looking for jobs and looking for something to better themselves in their lives. If they don't have opportunities and options, then it can be very devastating.
Sad to see so many young people up there. One of my homeboys up there was my boyfriend, and last year around this time he got gunned down. I didn't care about nothing. As long as I was having my fun time, that's all I worried about. I used to have fights with my mom a lot because she used to say I used to use my house as a hotel because I would only come and change and then just leave real quick. Come home at 4 in the morning, leave my house by 8 in the morning, and be gone for the whole day and night. I don't know, I probably would have been shot already or something if I kept on going the same way I was before. The rap school changed my life a lot, showing me that there's another way to go instead of the streets. It's a late night program called Gaias.
3 males at 24th and York, all 3 of them were 16. 2 of them were Mexican American and 1 Central American, over.
Tonight is outreach and diversion, which means that we go to different sectors that are target areas. Police are aware that we're on the street. If they feel that they do not need to detain someone, just get them off the street, they will call us.
Great Spirit, may this be a safe night. May everyone in the streets see our peace within us and help us bring happiness and understanding out there. May we all stick together tonight and work as a team.
Costa Rica. DSA in contact with one rep of students. We're doing a custody check. Be reminded that
this is a high-end prevention program that we're doing, where we're passing out information, we're following up people, we're talking to people about what they're interested in, giving people rides home. As we check on some youngsters that we know that drink heavily at certain spots, and they look pretty good tonight. Another good contact for me personally to meet this young man that I've been working with, to see how he's doing. He's going to be a future father, and he's trying to get into a GED program. We're going to help him get into a union apprenticeship program.
It's a happy day for you, man.
August 4th. My birthday is August 24th. Also, as an older guy to a younger guy, I want to talk to him about his drinking and being a future father and what that means.
What's up, everybody?
Some people, they would have been on a very high-risk area. We took a couple of those people home, so now they're not in that area anymore, so we feel good about that.
Rep band number 1, I cannot copy that.
To do prevention work is the hardest thing. It's not that taking care of injuries is easy, but to actually go out and try to, to prevent problems, disputes, and to prevent injuries is a lot of work. And very few people want to do it. So I applaud them and commend them for their commitment.
Because you know why? You took good notes. I opened up your folder. It was good. It was good. You did some good.
It's very important for the youth I work with to understand and to get actually some first-hand experience of what happens to individuals who are injured, who come into trauma centers, who come into operating rooms. So they can disseminate this information to other youth and say, listen, I've been there. This is what the realities are. This is the trauma room here. Okay, so that, the patients, and if you guys have ever been in this situation, initially somebody comes in here, like I'd mentioned before, there's like 12 or 13 doctors and nurses, and they're all gathering around everywhere.
This is where my boyfriend was at last year, in this room.
Look at the skid straight ahead, okay? When people get stabbed and shot, there's blood that builds up. Hopefully we can evacuate that, and then it'll take care of itself for the most part, okay? But by putting these tubes in and the blood coming out, we can gauge, we can figure out whether or not we need to take them back to the operating room at all. To monitor what's going on in the stomach, what's going on. It's not a very pretty place, yeah?
X-ray your neck, your chest, and your pelvis. Yeah. Make sure you don't have any broken bones, all right? Yeah. Then we'll finish getting that dressed.
It's pretty fun.
Oh my God.
First, I thought I was going to be kind of scared, and I thought it was going to be a lot of blood, which it wasn't.
I got scared. I'm not used to seeing skin getting cut right then and there in front of me. It was cool, though.
I've learned personally that gun wounds do the most damage because they leave a trail as they go through.
I was just getting flashbacks going in through the ICU and the emergency department of my homeboys being up in there.
There's actually misinterpretation out on the streets about what happens, with gunshot wounds and stab wounds because they're influenced by media, they're influenced by movies. So it actually, hopefully, this information will be disseminated by their own peers. Every time a youth is shot or a youth is stabbed, there's a sudden impetus to try to say, oh, they must be gang-related. Well, let me look at this. Recent studies that I've researched find that maybe 9% of these total injuries of these youth coming in are due to gang violence. And what we find is that, unfortunately, it's good old-fashioned interpersonal violence. But the problem is, how do they resolve that conflicts, and with what do they resolve those conflicts? And unfortunately, with this, the availability of firearms out there, it makes things much deadlier. Jose came into the emergency room again. Again, he was a victim of violence. He was attacked with apparently a baseball bat from some gang members. He sustained some bruises and contusions to his body, but fortunately, nothing that appeared to be life-threatening.
So this is our last hospital visit then. From here on out, it's, going to see you at the GED program and at the house.
The truth, I'm tired. I swear. I'm tired. I have too much enemies.
I don't like coming to see you in the hospital either.
No. I don't want to come back anymore.
We have to look at alternatives for Jose and alternatives for other youth just like him who are very much at high risk of dying. And he substantiates the reason why we need more programs. We need the activities and funding and the commitment to do something about these people coming into the hospital as well as the people outside the hospital already. I feel a lot of emotion and a lot of frustration for these young people, but I don't feel pessimistic myself, and I don't feel discouraged. I feel that this is what I have to do, this is what I want to do, to keep on doing what you think is right.
Dr. Tellez is now working on a new program for young people who are at risk for violence. He wants to expose them to career opportunities in the healthcare field through volunteer and mentoring programs here at San Francisco General. He hopes that this hospital setting will give kids valuable experience and will be a constant reminder of the health consequences of violence. There is no one way to prevent violence, but Dr. Tellez believes that he and other medical people must play a role in finding remedies to this complex problem. Thank you for watching. I'm Rose Gilbo.
Now let me tell you about my neighborhood. As I scan through the city, it's not all bad, there's some good. So if you roll through my town, sure, what is it? Nervous, you can still catch your family into a Sunday service or hanging out cool down, just barbecuing. If you ask me, you better check what you be doing. Cause if you look past the liquor store on every corner, you can find a working man in the van, a homeowner.
My poster ain't gonna save a life, but it's gonna send a message out there. I'm trying to say to stop the violence. I'm trying to say, pretty much stop killing each other.
Population 69,000. Now that's a whole lot of people that my hood be housing. Most of them are